What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today, MSTR. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into some price predictions and chart analysis. But before we do, I want to address some stuff that I talked about yesterday in regards to the potential share dilution that's coming out, right? First and foremost, I want to say thank you to people like Quincy Curry. I want to say thank you to people like, let's see, who else was it? Let me see. Hold on. X-Nuke for clearing things up, for providing some accurate information in the comments, because I do not know everything, and I am a human being, and I will get things wrong, and I do want to just kind of redact some of the things that I said yesterday in my MicroStrategy analysis, because I don't fully understand everything. I'm not an expert. I've never claimed to be an expert. I've done technical analysis for 8 years, but I don't know everything as far as the laws or regulations go for stocks, right? It was under my impression, to my knowledge, that these shares that were coming out for dilution, I was informed that they would not be issued for stock splitting, right? That they would be issued strictly for dilution of shares without stock splitting. But I've been informed since then, because of people like, again, Quincy Curry and X-Nuke and other people who provided accurate and helpful information without being dicks in the comments. Thank you guys for that. I saw a lot of people liked your guys' comments. It seems like a lot of people educated themselves too, which is great. I love that, right? Even if I provide information that's not accurate, that there are other people that will provide that, and that there are people in the community looking for that, right? But it was under my impression that there would be no split with these newly diluted shares, and that was concerning. That's why I said it would long-term negatively impact the price. I did say in yesterday's video that I thought that it would impact the price or the market cap in a positive way. I thought the market cap would only grow from stuff like that, but that it might hurt the price. But now that it's come to my attention that these shares are what you call accredited, not, is that the right word? They are, let me see, what did you guys say? It was authorized versus issued. They're authorized shares versus issued. And that's what a lot of you said. You need to understand the difference between authorized versus issued shares. And that was my fault. I didn't understand that, right? I understand that now. Again, I'm not perfect, right? I'm learning every single day. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I'm not afraid to admit that I didn't know this, right? Crypto is my game. Stocks are not my game as much, but I know a little bit about stocks. I don't know everything about stocks, and I hope everybody is more aware from a situation like this. I do want to say that even with my incorrect remarks yesterday, I still did say very calmly, very clearly, that none of my price predictions changed because of that negatively received news, which was received negatively. None of my price predictions changed. We can get rid of the big face, bring on the small face, because I did think that even though it was negatively received news, the market didn't care about it. Ultimately, it was going to be good for MicroStrategy and promote growth in MicroStrategy, and likely, even with my incorrect assumption that these shares would not result in a split for the stock, which it makes total sense that it would result in a split, right? Probably a 10-to-1 split. If we move up to the areas I'm thinking, we're going to move up to $1,000. We do a 10-to-1 split that brings you back to $100. It's a very affordable level for the average person. So it makes total sense that that's probably likely what's going to happen, is that these shares, it's not guaranteed, but likely that's what happens, right? Because Michael Saylor's not just going to dick over every person who's invested in this company, right? It would make a lot of sense that if we're going to make this move in the time that I'm expecting we're going to make this move, which is by the end of January, make a move up to about $900 to $1,000 with or without this news, right? That's the whole point of yesterday's video. And again, I want to apologize. I want to take the time again to say thank you to the people who provided accurate information in the comments. Thank you very much for that. But I also want to say that even though I was wrong, or provided inaccurate information that I myself was provided, which was inaccurate. It's my fault for saying that without knowing. But I thought I did know, but I was informed improperly by the wrong sources, and that's okay. That'll happen. I'm not perfect. But even with that, the main point of yesterday's video wasn't to be like, all these shares are coming out, it's going to dilute MicroStrategy, it's bearish, bearish, bearish. I hope the main point that everybody took away from yesterday's video was, in fact, what I'm saying now, which is that it's not a big deal. Even yesterday, when I assumed that these shares weren't going to result in a split, I was assuming that they would be diluted in a very, like, you would have ATM selling over a very long period of time. It would just be there to assure majority share control for MicroStrategy, stuff like that. I still assumed that it wouldn't have been dramatically bearish. It didn't change any of my cycle high targets. It didn't change any of my immediate targets, right? And that was the main point of yesterday's video. So even though I got it wrong, the point still remains the same even now when we're getting it right, which again, we have other people to thank for that. The point remains the same. The share dilution is not that big of a deal. And it actually makes sense. And I had a lot of you guys commenting that you hope it goes through. You're going to join the shareholder meeting and you're going to cast your votes to send it through. I think that's great. And I do think that the media has a way of deceiving us, right? And that's something. This video is less about price prediction and more about just, I guess, trying to set the record straight. But something that's also very accurate is that the media is not there to help you. You guys, if we're reading articles, you go online and you're reading articles thinking you're getting educated. You might be getting educated to some degree, but you're thinking that you're finding help. You're thinking that people putting this information out there want to help you. They don't. People that are putting information out there as far as written articles go, they're writing what they're told to write. They're doing it for engagement, but they're not doing it to help you. Right? Oftentimes it's actually the opposite effect. It's to help the person who's providing them the information, right? And that information is only provided at key moments. It's no surprise, and let me talk about what I'm saying here. It's no surprise that this negatively received news, and it was negatively received. It's not negative news. I think as time goes on, we will clearly see that, and I even said it in yesterday's video that it was negatively received in amongst some investors, but the chart didn't care. We still moved up 7.8% even with this negatively received news. And I put the quotes in here. I'm sure I did it in yesterday's video too, right? Generally, you buy the hype and you sell the news. The news has been spinning this dilution of shares as if it's some kind of bad thing, right? They don't specify. They make it out to be something that's a bad thing, right? And whenever you have that, whenever you have this negative seeming news at the bottom in a bull market, it makes sense that likely you're about to pump. When you have very bullish, euphoric news after you've been pumping so much, it makes sense that you're going to dump. Because again, these articles aren't coming out to help you make decisions. They're coming out so that you provide liquidity for the person who's paying the person who's writing the article to write the article, right? They write bullish things to the top, so it makes people FOMO, and then there's exit liquidity. They write bearish things, or even if they're bullish things, they make them seem bearish or make them sound scary, or don't fully clarify things so that people are left not understanding, you know, that happens. And at the bottom, so that it implies fear, and then people make the wrong decision down here, people make the wrong decision up here. But again, the media is there to do that to you. It's not there to make you make the right decision. It's there to provide liquidity for people to exit and for people to enter, okay? And that's essentially the main essence of this video. I feel like I've gone in depth enough. I wanted to just say that, right? Again, I'm not perfect. I hope you guys understand, right? I'm not trying to mislead anybody, and that's exactly, I hope, what you can see with a video like this is I'm not afraid to swallow my pride. I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong, and even just like properly accredit the people who set the bar straight. And there's probably more people in the comments too. I didn't get through all the comments yesterday, unfortunately. But again, I am grateful. I'm very grateful for the people who are not afraid to set the bar straight, set the record straight, and provide accurate information. I think no matter what you hear on YouTube or on any kind of internet source, you should always do your own research and always come to your own conclusions. And even though yesterday I was inaccurate with what I thought to be true, the point remains the same as it does now, which is that it's not a big deal. Who cares, right? The news says one thing, but the chart says who cares? We're moving up. The $1,000 target, the $999 target, or more. By the way, guys, $1,000 is just kind of like the bottom of the barrel, okay? And not based off of this fib. Let me go on the weekly time frame here. $1,000 is the bottom of the barrel. You go to the high to low. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Damn it! It's the last cycle. Here we go. High to low, right? Because the next one at the 1886, $1,000. I have this 200 here. It's actually meant to be a range. We could stop at $1,300. I doubt we go all the way up here right now, but we could move up a little bit past $1,000. And it would make total sense, especially knowing everything I know now, and hopefully everybody knowing what you know now as well, that when we get up here to these higher prices, the average American, the average person in the world doesn't have $1,000 at their disposal. They can't invest in MicroStrategy at $1,000, right? This is something that's reserved for people who have $1,000 on the side. Most of us who have been investing, that's easy money, or at least money that we would all ideally have. It wouldn't be a hard purchase to make. But the average person, especially people who are starting to invest, they're going to steer away from something that costs $1,000. You get that 10-to-1 split, puts it back at $100, boom, it's available to everybody, right? Anybody and everybody can probably set aside $100 if it takes a week, if it takes a month, to buy some MicroStrategy if they wanted to. So it makes total sense that that's what would happen. It makes total sense that this filing is happening. The meeting is set to happen in early 2025, likely when the price happens like this, so they make a solid case for why they need a 10-to-1 split. It just all makes sense. So I hope everybody sees exactly what a lot of these people in the comments are saying, is that it's a good thing. It's something that we should vote for. Michael Saylor, Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, you're all in good hands. You got a really good collective group of people there. At least it seems so. So I think they've got their shareholders' interests at hand, at heart. I think they've got the price action at heart, right? And I think they've got their company's interest at heart too, which is, it's just all the right things for all the right reasons, guys. All the ATM selling, all the selling that they do is just to add value to the company. So that's phenomenal, right? They're not running off and going on vacation, buying like all kinds of nefarious things with your money. They're buying Bitcoin. But I can end the video with that. We'll do some quick price analysis and then just end the video here. Hit the like button, subscribe if you like the video so far. Again, it's not really like your average video. I probably won't make a video like this for a while, hopefully. I don't really make mistakes like that like I did yesterday, right? I like to do my research. And I will say, before we get into the price action, I did say to a handful of you, and you know who you are if you're here for this part, I did say to a handful of you that I wanted to wait for the weekend before I responded about the MicroStrategy shares, because I didn't know everything. I didn't. And I really wanted to wait because I wanted to learn more. But I thought I learned enough. I thought I got accurate information. I thought I shoved it all in because there was so much concern with that. I felt like it was a pressing matter that I needed to make an announcement on, because I wanted to really issue the real message was to not panic, regardless of what the inaccurate information was. It was all about not panicking, essentially. But again, next time, lesson learned. If I don't feel comfortable with it, or if I feel like I'm rushed in trying to say something, maybe I'll just wait till the weekend next time. But I literally did say to most people that I didn't want to comment, or I didn't want to make remarks on this yet. I wanted to gather more information before I commented on that, because I don't know everything with stocks, man. I really don't. But again, I felt like I was kind of pressured into that because of all the uncertainty that I was seeing in the comments. But that's on me. That's not, that's on me, and I own that. Let's get into the price action. I'm sorry, I keep talking about myself. From a relative high to a relative low here, the relative stuff. You hit the 2272, pulled all the way up there, okay? Pulled down to your 1618 to find support. You didn't quite reach it, but that's fine, that's okay. You're not really respecting this so much, but I would expect the next kind of area you would go to would be your 2618. That's at $604. You're at 358 now, so you'll probably be at $604, I think, to start off January. Probably like before the 10th. And once you're there, that will ignite this next kind of phase up, right? You'll have a higher high. People will start to believe in you again. You're not down here, you're up here, and likely you're in progress of continuing this move higher, right? If we look at MicroStrategy for what it's worth, just how it likes to move, it doesn't seem to like to consolidate for too long, right? You consolidated here for a long time. This is your bear cycle, right? From the end of the bull cycle last cycle to the bear cycle here. And then throughout this bull cycle, you've consolidated a little bit, a really long time here, right? But that was recent, okay? You've consolidated for a little bit here. I think your next move up, just based off of any of these moves, we can try and draw right here. Let's just see this move here, this move here, this move here. I hope it's obvious why I'm drawing these moves, right? These are in between these consolidation phases. This move here, right? This move here. If we took the smallest moves first off from the relative low, that would take you all the way up to about 724. This move's smaller. That move, this is just all the up moves, essentially, in between consolidation phases that we've seen throughout MicroStrategy's cycle so far. That would take you up to the current all-time high, basically, if we were to see the smallest one. This next one here would take you all the way up to about $663, okay? So those are your smaller targets based off of what we've seen before. If we were to perform like we did leading up into this large consolidation phase, you could easily see a move that takes you up to about $1,300, which is at the top of the range we're expecting. And then if you saw a replica of this move that led you into this consolidation phase, that would take you probably, again, right around $1,300, $1,400, which again is the top side of this area that we're expecting to go right around that $200 area, or that 200 zone. This is a very non-professional way of doing technical analysis, doing this. Really all I did was, and you can see it, I just basically measured every up move that we had in between each of these consolidation phases, right? If I draw circles, maybe that makes it more obvious, right? All the up moves, consolidation here, right? Consolidation there. And then I compared it to the current low of the price, right? Based off this consolidation phase, how high we could move. Literally based off of every single scenario that we've derived from this cycle so far. The minimum target would at least take you up to the current all-time highs, if not up to $600. But here's the deal. If you notice, these small moves happened at the beginning of the cycle. As you progress, bigger moves are happening. And that's actually very common. We look at the last cycle, it was very short, but you saw a lot of the same stuff. The smaller moves happened in the beginning. They progressively got bigger, but the end was the biggest. We look at Litecoin, we could look at Bitcoin. I'm looking at Litecoin here, I guess, but we can look at Litecoin and you can see the same thing. In the beginning of the cycle, small moves. At the end of the cycle, bigger moves to the upside and to the downside. You look at Bitcoin, you look at anything, man. The end of the cycle is where the finale really comes in, right? It's not the beginning. The beginning starts off slow, then you're underway, then you get cooking, then you're moving. Look at the bigger candles up here, smaller candles down here, right? I'm just saying, with MicroStrategy here, basing everything off of all these little moves that we just had, which the minimum moves took you to your current all-time highs, if not to $600. The bigger moves here and here would take you up to the top zone up here, okay? We're further along in the cycle. We're not in the beginning of the cycle. Dare I even say we're in the last stretch of the cycle. It makes sense that these moves, this next move would likely be one of the bigger moves, okay? You're at 358 now. There's a very solid case that we're going to move up to new all-time highs. And when we do, just based off of statistics, based off of the path that we have before us, likely you would not stop until at least $994. That's not the maximum target. That's the minimum target. The maximum target is $1,300. It's a whole $300 higher. You're at $358 now. I'm calling for $994 for most of these videos, but the reality is that you could move up a whole nother value of what you're worth now after that, if that makes sense. I got nothing else to say for you guys. It's all the same. All the targets are the same. Nothing's changed. I just wanted to adjust and accurately, as accurately as I could hopefully try to be, tell you guys what my thoughts were. And hopefully I've set the record straight. If there's anything else I need to set straight, just look in the comments. There's clearly a lot of educated people who, you know, probably for good reason care about their investment and have some knowledge in this matter. So I love that. That's the real point of this channel, at least for me, is to build a community. I like giving you guys my predictions. I like giving you guys my calls too, but there are plenty of people out in the world who are smarter than me. Even some of them are in the comments probably below in this video. It's never bad to kind of hear them out. On that note too, do not just take a random YouTube comment as facts. Do your own research. Do your own research. And even then, right, sometimes if you're scared, if you're emotional, just understand in the markets, it does that. If you're emotional to the excited effect, you're likely going to dump. If you're emotional to the negative effect, you're likely going to pump. Just understand your emotions will not guide you. They will mislead you in this game. So if you ever find yourself trying to make a decision based on your emotions, it's probably the wrong one. I'll leave you with that. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.